Breaking out of Grand Rapids, police are still searching for a suspect who they say shot a man in the leg this morning. Happened a little before 3 a.m. in the 1100 block of Ionia. Police say the victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries and isn't being cooperative. We are told a possible suspect is between 23 and possibly 24 years old, but no other information is available at this time. If you do have anything you can share about this, please contact the Grand Rapids Police. Police get weird calls all the time, and this week was no exception in Grand Rapids after GRPD were told to be on the lookout for a missing pig. It happened Thursday in Grand Rapids after a little pig named Ramon was found wandering the streets all alone. Neighbors in Easttown say Ramon is well known in their area, but he doesn't typically go out by himself. Without specific training on how to handle pigs, officers had to find a way to improvise.
They didn't have a leash or anything. So yeah, they put him in the cruiser and took a picture of him. The irony there is not lost upon us.
It turns out Ramon had gotten out after his owner accidentally left the door open. After he got a little ride around in the cruiser, he was reunited with his family. A Michigan lawmaker working to change speed limits across the state based on how fast the majority of the drivers are going. Currently, the maximum speed limit in Michigan is 70, but other states like Arizona and Utah have speed limits as high as 80 miles an hour. Fox 17's Dave Spencer spoke with a state senator who's trying to change the law, as well as drivers who are going to be impacted. All right, thank you, Nicole. New this morning out of Calhoun County, a 17-year-old boy is out of the hospital after being shot near a convenience store, and the suspected shooters are now in custody. It happened 9:40 last night on North Avenue. Witnesses told police that the teenager had been shot in the hip by two suspects who then may have run into a nearby apartment. The police got a tip and located the pair along with guns and ammunition. The suspects are only 15 and 16 years old. They are now at the juvenile home and are expected to face attempted murder charges. Also new this morning, a 52-year-old Greenville woman is recovering after crashing her van on Fisk Road in Otisco Township. Police say she was headed east when she left the road and hit multiple trees. The Belding Fire Department had to pull her out of the vehicle, and she was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say fatigue is suspected to be the main cause of the crash. They add that she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. A man on a bicycle was hit by a car in Grand Rapids just after 9 last night. The victim came out from between two buildings at Division and Kirtland, and the driver of the vehicle did not see him. The victim, in his early 30s, has serious injuries. Big plans are underway for the 83-year-old Heritage Tower that sits in downtown Battle Creek. According to the Battle Creek Inquirer, officials from 616 Development revealed plans for a $23 million project that will turn the building into apartments and a boutique hotel, as well as office and retail space. Not going to be easy. The building is partly condemned. It's filled with asbestos, and it's been mostly vacant over the years. When completed, about 150,000 square feet of space will become 62 apartments, 43 hotel rooms, and 32 underground parking spots. The lower floors will house commercial space and conference facilities. A suspect is locked up after a daring bank robbery in the heart of downtown Grand Rapids, and the guy was caught at the Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. It started at the Chase Bank branch on Ottawa around 4:30 yesterday. The suspect walked in, implied he had a weapon, and demanded money. Right after the alarm went off, an officer spotted the suspect on Michigan Street near Bostwick. He ran onto the grounds of DeVos Children's Hospital, but was shortly thereafter arrested. Police say the suspect had cash taken from the bank and admitted to the crime. Court records indicate that he had robbed the same bank when it was a Bank One branch. His name is not being released until he is formally charged, and the U.S. Attorney's Office will handle the case.
All right, good tips there.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's the combination on my luggage.
1, 2, 3, 4, and is it what
somebody
movie?
in the studio got that?
What movie is it from? It's got to be a movie reference.
Spaceballs.
Oh,
Spaceballs.
Yes, that movie.
That was the combination to the air shield on Druidia.
I don't.
But here's the thing about those passwords. You read those stories. We run those stories on TV all the time. Mm-hmm. The ones that you have to come up with are so ridiculous that you can't remember your own password.
Yeah, or
and then you have to change it all the time.
It can't be a past password.
Right, it can't be a past password or
down.
a past password. The password
live on
is.
Mars. Just get rid of this.
Thaler calls himself a freegan, which means he's adopted an anti-consumerist lifestyle. That's become a trend. According to the UK's Daily Mail, freeganism started in the mid-90s with freegan groups in New York. There's a lot of freaking groups in New York, I believe. A teenager is dead after a drive-by shooting in Grand Rapids early this morning. It happened just after midnight on Cote Court. That's near Granville Avenue. Police say the victim was pronounced dead at the hospital. Investigators are now looking for a four-door, dark purple Chevy Impala, possibly late 80s or early 90s. Police are not releasing the name of the victim at this time. If you have any information on this shooting, please call the Grand Rapids Police Department or Silent Observer. All right, thank you, Tim. Cedar Springs Police Department looking for the man who held up the Admiral gas station on South Main Street on Saturday. Police say the clerk was alone in the store when the suspect came in demanding cash and then took off. Grand Rapids police assisted, but a canine search came up empty. The suspect is described as a white man in his 20s, around 190 pounds, with sideburns and a pierced tongue. He was last seen wearing a navy blue baseball hat and black shorts with a white stripe down the side. If you have any information, call Cedar Springs Police, 616-696-1311. Hey, Mike, we're talking about a group called the Felony Lane Gang. They're based in Fort Lauderdale, but they operate all over the country, including here in West Michigan. Police say two of their associates were recently picked up here after trying to cash a bad check. Rockford police say they arrested Melissa Duncan and Travis Brown after the duo went to a Choice One bank branch and tried to cash a check that was stolen from a woman named Emily Taphouse. She was at a family reunion at Ada Township Park on August 12th. It was the middle of the day. Nobody heard anything, but when she got out to her car, she saw a window was smashed and her valuables were gone. When she called police, Emily was told she wasn't alone. 13 other people in the area had been robbed the same way.
You'd think you'd feel safe at Ada Township Park. It's kind of unnerving. It's very violating. You don't really feel safe leaving your stuff anywhere. And I know it's probably just a small part of the ring, but at least it's part of it, you know, the part out of our area, and hopefully they don't come back.
By the way, Felony Lane, an appropriate name. The group uses the far drive-through lane at the bank when they try to cash those bad checks. Sometimes they do it in costume, so they're far from the teller and they can't be recognized. If you think you may have been hit by the group, give Rockford Police a call, 616-866-9557. Live in the newsroom, Tim Doty, Fox 17 News. All right, thank you, John. New this morning out of Newaygo County, deputies say a death that they originally thought was suspicious has been ruled a suicide. Yesterday morning, a body was found floating in Hess Lake. The victim has since been identified as 65-year-old Bruce Sherwood. His father is the one who found him and called 911. When deputies recovered the body, they found he had suffered a gunshot wound. Upon further investigation, they determined it was self-inflicted and called for the dive team to search the bottom of the lake. They recovered there a .38 caliber handgun. And we are also learning about a little girl who was hit by a motorcyclist as he was trying to get away from police. Muskegon Township clocked Seth Wood driving 59 in a 40-mile-an-hour zone on Sheridan Road back on August 8th, and it was all caught on camera. He tried to get away, making some turns. Eventually, he blew through a stop sign. Then the camera goes white. That's when little Brooklyn got hit. When the camera comes back, you can see her lying on the side of the road. It was an accident that could have been a lot worse if her bike didn't take the brunt of the hit.
A matter of a second could have been the difference of him hitting her, you know, right in the side, and could have been very bad.
It just broke my bike. I didn't come back on it because it had broken wheel.
Wood is now facing charges of fleeing and eluding along with reckless driving. A couple in Van Buren County are in custody following a meth bust. It happened yesterday at a house in the Applewood mobile home community. That's right off County Road 687. Officers went there looking for 26-year-old Scotty McConnell, who was wanted on outstanding warrants. While police talked to his wife at the front door, he tried slipping out the back, but was later arrested by other officers on the scene. Police say they found meth components at the home, leading to new charges for McConnell and his wife. Two 15-year-olds have been arrested and will face charges for a fire that destroyed more than 100 golf carts at a course in Cass County. The Sheriff's Department says it's being considered arson. It happened around 2:30 Wednesday morning at the Hampshire Golf Course in Dowagiac. These are photos sent in by one of our viewers. You can see the damage there. In addition to the golf carts, investigators say the clubhouse was also damaged. A Grand Rapids man involved in a motorcycle crash last weekend has died. Police say 29-year-old Jesse McLean lost control of his bike near Monroe Avenue and Mason Street around 11 o'clock Saturday night. He was taken to the hospital with serious injuries but did not make it. He passed away yesterday. He wasn't wearing a helmet, and police say both speed and alcohol could be factors in that crash.
Doesn't bother me at all, no.
Your father was Big Daddy Kinsey. You played with Albert King. You played with some of the Chicago greats. Do you feel good that blues is starting to get the recognition that maybe it didn't get all those years ago? I know I've read a quote from you saying those bluesmen a lot of times were taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Now they're being recognized
Yeah.
by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, things like that.
Right. No, it's about time.